Hi, Collective. I'm Ancient, and I have a channeled message for you all. I am picking up on a child. I'm getting the child archetype or an actual child. Now, for some of you, I could be predicting the attributes of an unborn child. What I'm picking up is the magician. Someone is giving birth, or you have a child that is a genius. Okay. This child is a genius, and it's not, they could come off abnormal, um they could be unconventional. Perhaps you compare this child to family members, children, or your friends. This child could be an introvert or an ambivert. They like to be alone. They could be an only child. So this could be, if this is your child, this only child you have, but you don't know this, or you maybe you thought your child is weird. They're not. And there's nothing wrong with being weird either, right? Because depending on what you considered weird, is they're unique. Let's just say that. Maybe you, as a joke, you used to say to yourself, like, oh, my child is weird. Um, but you know that they're unique. They're more than just unique. This child is an actual genius. And they embody already the energy of the magician. This child is extremely mature. I'm picking up they're between the ages of 5 and 8, or 8 and 10 years old. Okay, so either they're between the ages of 5 and 8, or they can be 8 um or 10 years old. But they're extremely wise, and they say things to you and you laugh it off. But there's times where you sit back and you're like, you know what? Almost like you get advice from your child. And I feel, and not that you ask them questions, they just give you wisdom, or they share things with you about people around you, maybe friends that come over and visit, family members, and they tell you things. Some people, like family, when they're around you, or friends, they may feel that you have an unhealthy relationship with your child, because they feel like your child's too opinionated, but it's not that. They're actually a genius. So adults get intimidated, or they feel intimidated. They turn their intimidation as disrespect, because in their mind they're like, who is this 7-year-old think they're talking to? But it's your 7-year-old, or however old they are, they're actually smarter than 50% of the adult population, if not more than that. You're raising a genius. And I think that whoever I'm speaking to, you'll know if it's for you. It's not just because your child skipped a grade or two. No, this child is very special. And as I stated, they embody the magician. This child is going to be an entrepreneur. They could be an inventor. They could already be doing things now where they just come up with things. Like they could be a little engineer. They know how to put things together. And you're like, how did you know how to do that? They fix things in the house. And it's to a degree where it's becoming a norm for you. But you may even have family members that come around and say, your child is very smart. And you're like, yeah, I know. Like you stay humble about it. And you shouldn't, because your child's a genius. They're showing up as the number one. Their life path may be the number one, which is someone that is the energy of Aries, very independent entrepreneur. They could be a Aries or Virgo. Yeah, sun, moon, or rising, but this child's a genius. They're going to create something that's going to help humanity. This child is protected, they're blessed. The number 8 could be significant. They could be a Leo. Their birthday could be on the 8th. Again, they could be 8 years old. But they embody the cup, the pentacle, the wands, the swords. Whereas for those of you that have been watching me for, or not watching, listening to my channel for quite some time, you know that I speak about, or I've spoken about, the embodying all the elements. The reason why this child isn't an emperor and empress is because they're a child, but they are the magician, meaning that they're already equipped with the tools to be very successful in life. This child's going to be emotionally intelligent. They're already emotionally intelligent at a young age. They understand money. They could even ask you about, investments, excuse me. They could already be talking about investments and marketing, and I mean, just things that children don't necessarily speak about. They could be talking about the stock market, stuff like that. Like, this child is bright. We have the Ace of Wands. Although this child could be an introvert or an ambivert, they can have an extroverted personality depending on who's around them, but they like to spend time alone because this child knows that they're unique. They know that they're different. They also see the world very differently than a lot of people, and they understand adults. Okay, they know what's going on. You know how little kids typically don't know what's going on. They really don't. Think back when you were a child. The only thing you did was eat, sleep, and play, right? Unless you embody this magician energy, you could have known what was going on as well. This could be generational. You yourself could have been very smart as a child, very wise, but you didn't have the support around you to kind of help you get to the level that you could have been at when you were a child. But I feel that this is a confirmation for some of you to put in the effort and energy into harnessing your child's gifts. You may or may not know what those gifts are, but this child is an absolute genius. I keep saying that. Like, some of you are raising the next Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. Like, you're raising someone that is completely unique. Like, this person's unique. They do things very different. This child is very different. They're not worried about being popular. They actually like to be by themselves because to them, they feel weird. They feel like they don't fit in, which most geniuses are very much introverted. Isaac Newton was an introvert. Albert Einstein is an introvert. Um, Elon Musk has Asperger's, which is a social anxiety disorder. Not anxiety, excuse me. It's a social disorder, right? It's because it's like a social autism. So your child is not weird in a sense where something's wrong with them. It's that they're a genius. And I keep saying that because I want to make sure you understand whoever I'm speaking to. Um, and if you yourself thought this, let this message be a confirmation. Okay. Make sure you support this child because um yeah, they're gonna do something to help humanity here. Like, I don't know what this person could actually become a surgeon, they could be a doctor, or they could just become some sort of high-powered inventor or an engineer. There's something that this some sort of scientist, um, and they don't need to go to school. Like, they don't even need school. It's to the point where school is boring. They're bored. When they go to school, they're absolutely bored. Even if you skip them, this child is still gonna be bored. Okay. Um, I don't feel like they get in trouble in school. They're very quiet. Now, I am picking up on, though, they are quiet and the teacher picks on them all the time. They could have a teacher that picks on them. the teacher could know that your child's extremely smart, so they always pick on them to participate. That might be something you may want to check in on, because I feel like this teacher is kind of like, it is giving bully energy. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't think the teacher's intentionally trying to bully your child. I feel that their intentions is to try to get them out of their shell. And it's not that they're in a shell. Your child's just an introvert and they don't want to come off as Mr. or Mrs. Smarty Pants. As it relates to that teacher, my recommendation would be, it's not something where you need to go off, right? But I think you need to ask your child how their interaction with their teacher is and kind of gauge their reaction. If they're reluctant to tell you, say, no, you can tell me, and see what they say. And if they say, yeah, she kind of picks on me or he kind of picks on me, then that's a conversation that you probably should have with the teacher, letting them know that you do have open communication with your child and that you're well aware of how they feel. And if the teacher, I feel like this teacher is given, I hate to say it, Karen energy, where they may take offense to it. So, you may need to include an administrator or a principal, or something like that, and just say, look, the mental health of my child is extremely important, and I don't want my child to be picked on in class just because they're bright. It's unfair. The other children need to participate as well. And just make your point, and that's it. Doesn't mean you got to go off or anything like that, but just make your point. And I feel like the teacher will be a lot more aware of that, because the teacher could also be unaware that that's how they're coming off, right? Um, but that's what I'm getting. Because also this teacher could be having personal things going on in their life outside of work, and they could be taking it out on the children, right? Maybe this person is overworked, underpaid, having issues with their spouse or family, you know, and they're taking it out on children. I don't think they're doing it intentional, but this person could just be unhappy. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. But that would be my recommendation. I would just include a principal, administrator, or somebody like that that could just kind of help you navigate the conversation and keep it balanced and healthy. And that's that. Okay. But yeah, you have a child genius. And with the Ace of Wands and the Sun, I feel like they're going to invent something that does not exist, but it is going to change the world for the better. Most definitely here with the Sun. Your child could actually, as I state, be they could be a Leo, a Virgo, Aries energy is here. Even Justice here with Libra. So yeah. So some of you have a genius around you. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.